passionate explorers. Welcome back to another exciting episode of Energize Your Passion. I'm your host, Sunshine, and today's episode of Travel with Sunshine, we're going to dive into a city that's not only the heart of American politics, but also a vibrant melting pot of culture, history, and adventure. Yes, you guessed it. We're talking about Washington, D.C. I know Washington, D.C. might bring to mind images of serious politicians and historic monuments, but trust me, this city has much more to offer. It's a place where past and present collide in the most beautiful way, creating an atmosphere that's both inspiring and invigorating. Whether you're a history buff, a foodie, an art lover, or just someone looking for a new adventure, DC has something for everyone. In this episode, we're going to break down the best of what Washington, D.C. has to offer. We'll explore must-see landmarks to hidden gems. We're covering it all. We also received quite a few stories that the listeners sent in that I will share with you. So buckle up and get ready for a virtual tour that'll leave you itching to pack your bags and head straight to the nation's capital. All right, let's kick things off with the iconic landmarks that you simply can't miss when visiting Washington, D.C. I mean, what's a trip to Washington, D.C. without standing in awe of the Washington Monument or taking a reflective stroll around the Lincoln Memorial? First up, the National Mall. This is the epic center of DC's historic and cultural landmarks, stretching from the Capitol building to the Lincoln Memorial. The National Mall is home to a plethora of monuments and museums. Start your journey at the Washington Monument, standing tall at 555 feet. It's not only a tribute to the nation's first president, but also offers breathtaking views of the city from the top. Now, let me share a little story. A friend of mine, Jenny, visited DC for the first time last year. She told me that when she reached the top of the Washington Monument and looked out over the city, she felt this overwhelming sense of connection to American history. She could see the Lincoln Memorial, the reflecting pool, and even the Capitol building in the distance. She said it was like standing at the center of history, surrounded by the stories of countless generations. Next, make your way to the Lincoln Memorial. This majestic monument is more than just a photo op. It's a place of reflection and inspiration. As you climb the steps, you can't help but feel the weight of history, especially when you look out over the reflecting pool and imagine Martin Luther King Jr.'s "I Have a Dream" speech echoing through the air. Speaking of personal experiences, a co-worker has stated they remember visiting the Lincoln Memorial with their family when younger. It was early in the morning and the sun was just rising. The entire memorial had this golden glow and it was incredibly peaceful. Her dad, who is a big history buff, took the time to explain the significance of the site and MLK's speech. It's a memory that has stayed with her ever since, and every time she visits, she feels that same sense of awe. And speaking of reflection, the Vietnam Veterans Memorial and the Korean War Veterans Memorial are also must-visits. These poignant sites honor those who served and sacrificed, and they're powerful reminders of the human cost of conflict. One of my viewers, a veteran named Mike, who was there with his grandchildren, showing them the names on the Vietnam Veterans Memorial. He shared some stories about his friends who didn't make it back. And it was a touching reminder of the personal sacrifices behind each name on that wall. Of course, the U.S. Capitol is another iconic sight. Whether you're admiring it from afar or taking a tour inside, the Capitol is a symbol of American democracy and an architectural marvel in its own right. Don't forget to check out the Library of Congress nearby. It's the largest library in the world and a treasure trove of knowledge. My coworker Sarah is a huge bookworm, and when she visited the Library of Congress, she was like a kid in a candy store. She couldn't believe the sheer volume of books and historical documents housed there. It was one of the highlights of her trip. Now, for a bit of fun, head over to the National Air and Space Museum. It's not just for kids, trust me. You'll be fascinated by the history of aviation and space exploration. From the Wright brothers plane to the Apollo 11 command module, the exhibits here are out of this world. My friend Dave, who's a pilot, absolutely loves this museum. He's visited multiple times and still finds new things to marvel at each visit. He told me that seeing the actual Apollo 11 command module gave him goosebumps. It's a piece of human history that symbolizes achievement and exploration. And don't miss the Smithsonian Castle, which serves as the information system for Smithsonian Institution. It's a beautiful building with lush gardens and a great place to start if you're planning to visit multiple Smithsonian museums. A friend once met a family from Australia there who were on a grand tour of the United States. They said starting at the Smithsonian Castle gave them a perfect overview and helped them plan their days exploring the various museums. Every one of these landmarks and museums holds a unique place in the heart of Washington, D.C., each telling a story of the nation's past, present, and future. Whether it's the grandeur of the architecture, the solemn reflection at the memorials, or the excitement of discovering history and science. These sites offer experiences that stay with you long after you've left the city. So take your time, soak it all in, and let yourself be transported by the stories these places tell. All right, now that we've covered the must-see sites, let's dig a little deeper and uncover some of Washington, D.C.'s hidden gems and local favorites. These are the spots that might not be on every tourist's radar, but are definitely worth a visit. First on the list is the Eastern Market, located in the historic Capitol Hill neighborhood. Eastern Market is a bustling marketplace filled with the local vendors selling everything from fresh produce to handmade crafts. It's the perfect place to get a taste of local culture and maybe even pick up a unique souvenir or two. The market is a vibrant hub where you can immerse yourself in the community vibe, chat with friendly vendors, and enjoy a variety of foods, arts, and crafts. It's a great spot to spend a leisurely morning or afternoon exploring. Next, let's talk about the vibrant neighborhood of Georgetown. This charming area is a blend of historic architectural, trendy shops, and mouth-watering eateries. Georgetown's cobblestone street and picturesque row houses make it a delightful place to stroll around. Pop into some of the boutique stores for unique shopping finds or grab a coffee from a local cafe and watch the world go by. And don't forget to indulge in a cupcake from Georgetown Cupcake. It's a local favorite for a reason. The neighborhood also boasts a beautiful waterfront areas where you can relax and enjoy stunning views of the Potomac River. For a bit of nature, head over to Killingsworth Park and Aquatic Gardens. This hidden gem offers a peaceful escape from the city's hustle and bustle. The beautiful locust and water lily ponds are especially stunning in the summer, and it's a great spot for a leisurely walk or some bird watching. The park is a sanctuary for both wildlife and visitors seeking tranquility. Walking through the gardens, you'll feel like you've been transported to a serene natural paradise, far removed from the urban environment. Art lovers, you'll want to check out the Hens Horns Museum and Sculpture Garden. This contemporary art museum features an impressive collection of modern contemporary art, and the outdoor sculptures garden is a serene place to relax and admire the unique installations. The Hirshhorn is a place where you can experience cutting edge art and innovative exhibits that challenge your perspectives. The sculpture garden is in particular offers a wonderful blend of nature and art, creating a common and thought-provoking space. Another local favorite is Union Market. This trendy food hall is a foodie's paradise with dozens of vendors offering a wide range of cuisines, from gourmet cheese to fresh oysters. Union Market is the place to go for a delicious, diverse dining experience. The market is not just about food. It's a cultural experience where you can taste flavors from around the world, all under one roof. It's a vibrant spot where locals and visitors mingle, share meals, and enjoy the lively atmosphere. And for a bit of history, with a twist, visit the mansion on O Street. This quirky museum and hotel are filled with secret doors, hidden rooms, and eclectic collections. It's a fun and fascinating place to explore, and you never know what you might discover around the next corner. The mansion on O Street is a true curiosity with its labyrinth layout and treasure troves of unique items. It's a place where every visit feels like an adventure full of surprises and delightful discoveries. Exploring these hidden gems and local favorites in Washington, D.C. offers a deeper, more personal connection to the city. Each of these spots has its own charm and character, offering unique experiences that go beyond the typical tourist attractions. We have a story from Jane and Mark, listeners from Ohio, who wrote in about their visit to Eastern Market. Jane was particularly enchanted by the handmade jewelry from the local artisans, while Mark couldn't get enough of the fresh homemade pastries. They spent hours wandering through the market, chatting with vendors, and sampling all kinds of delicious treats. Jane told us that their visit to Eastern Market was the highlight of their trip because it felt so authentic and different from the typical tourist spots. Tom and Lisa from New York shared their experience in Georgetown. They spent an entire afternoon exploring the quaint streets, stopping by the waterfront, and savoring cupcakes at Georgetown Cupcake. Lisa mentioned how much she loved the historic vibe combined with the modern boutiques. Tom, on the other hand, enjoyed sitting by the Potomac River, watching the rowboats and taking in the picturesque scenery. They both agreed that Georgetown felt like a little European escape within the bustling city. Sophia, a listener from Texas, visited Killingsworth Park and Aquatic Gardens during her trip to D.C. She described it as a serene oasis where she could completely unwind and connect with nature. Sophia spent hours photographing the blooming lotus and water lilies, even spotted a few rare birds. She said it was one of the most peaceful and beautiful places she've ever been, and highly recommended to anyone looking to escape the urban grind. Alex, an art student and listener from Chicago, spent an entire day at the Hirshhorn Museum. He wrote about how he soaked in the diverse art pieces and was particularly moved by an interactive exhibit that allowed visitors to contribute to a collective art piece. Alex said it was an inspiring experience that reignited his passion for creating art. The sculpture garden also provided a tranquil space for him to sketch and reflect. Rachel and her friend Emily, listeners from San Francisco, couldn't stop raving about Union Market. Rachel was thrilled to find a vendor specializing in gourmet cheese from around the world, while Emily indulged in freshly shucked oysters. They spent the afternoon sampling different foods and even attended a cooking demonstration. Rachel said it was like a culinary world tour in one spot, and that Union Market was a must visit for any food lover. Steve and his wife Maria and their two kids from Canada shared their adventure at the mansion on O Street. They loved the mystery and the adventure of finding hidden doors and secret rooms. Maria mentioned that the mansion's eclectic collection kept the whole family entertained, from vintage guitars to quirky art pieces. Steve said it was like living in a real-life treasure hunt, and their kids couldn't stop talking about the cool secrets they found. It was an unforgettable experience that added a unique twist to their DC trip. Exploring the hidden gems and local favorites in Washington, D.C. offers a deeper, more personal connection to the city. Each of these spots has its own charm and character, enriched by the stories and experiences of our wonderful listeners. Whether it's the bustling energy of Eastern Market or the tranquil beauty of Killingworth Park, these places provide unique and memorable moments that truly capture the spirit of Washington, D.C. Now, let's move on to one of my favorite topics, food. Washington, D.C. has a thriving culinary scene that's as diverse as the city itself. Whether you're in the mood for fine dining or a casual bite, D.C. got you covered. Let's start with Ben's Chili Bowl. This iconic eatery has been serving up its famous chili dogs and half smokes since 1958. It's a DC institute and a must visit for anyone looking to taste a piece of local history. If you're in the mood for something a bit more upscale, head over to La Diplomate. This French brasserie is a favorite among locals and visitors alike, thanks to its delicious dishes and charming Parisian ambiance. The steak fries and escargot are top-notch, and don't forget to save room for dessert. For a truly unique dining experience, check out the Old Ibit Grill. This historic restaurant, located just steps from the White House, has been serving politicians, journalists, and tourists since 1856. The menu features a mix of classic American dishes and fresh seafood. The atmosphere is both elegant and inviting. Craving some international flavors? Make your way to Little Ethiopia. This vibrant neighborhood is home to several fantastic Ethiopian restaurants where you can enjoy dishes like injera and dora wat. One of my favorite is Ethiopic, known for its flavorful and authentic cuisine. For a taste of Chesapeake Bay, visit Hank's Oyster Bar. This casual seafood spot is known for its fresh oysters, lobster rolls, and crab cakes. It's the perfect place to unwind with a cold drink and some delicious seafood after a day of exploring. And if you're a fan of farmers markets, you can't miss the DuPont Circle Farmers Market. Held every Sunday, this market features local farmers and artisans selling everything from fresh produce to homemade jams. It's a great place to grab a bite and support the local businesses. Now, let's add a few more spots to our list of culinary delights. For those who love Italian cuisine, Fiola is an absolute gem. This Michelin star restaurant by Chef Fabio Trabacchi offers a luxurious dining experience with dishes that blend traditional Italian flavors with modern creativities. Their pasta is made in-house, and the seasonal menu ensures that you're always in for a treat. Another favorite is Rosie Luxury, a quirky and charming restaurant located on Capitol Hill. Rosie's Luxury doesn't take reservations, which means there's usually a line. But trust me, it's worth the wait. Their eclectic menu features small plates inspired by global flavors, and the pork and lychee salad is a must try. If you're a fan of Southern cuisine, finding Farmers is a fantastic spot. This farmer-owned restaurant serves hearty farm-to-table dishes that are both delicious and sustainably sourced. Their chicken and waffles paired with a craft cocktail make for a perfect brunch or dinner experience. For a taste of Spain, head to Jaleo by Jose Andres. This lovely tapas restaurant offers a vibrant atmosphere and an extensive menu of Spanish small plates. The paella is particularly popular, as are the patas bravas and the assortment of cheeses and cured meats. Vegetarians and vegans will love Equinox, a restaurant that focuses on plant-based, locally sourced dishes. Chef Todd Gray's innovative menu includes delicious options like the sweet potato lasagna and the Chesapeake Bay crab cakes made from hearts of palm. Seafood lovers should not miss the Salt Line. Located along the waterfront in the Navy Yard, this New England-style seafood restaurant offers a variety of fresh, sustainably sourced seafood dishes. The clam chowder, lobster rolls, and raw bar are highlights. For a cozy neighborhood vibe, visit the Red Hen in Bloomingdale. This Italian-influenced American restaurant is known for its wood-fired dishes and homemade pastas. The Mezza rigatoni and fennel sausage ragu is a crowd favorite. And finally, for dessert, you can't miss Baked and Wired in Georgetown. This bakery and coffee shop offers an array of delicious cupcakes, cookies, and pies. The strawberry cupcake is a fan favorite, and their coffee is top notch. Washington, D.C. culinary scene offers something for everyone, from iconic eateries like Ben's Chili Bowl to upscale dining like dining at Les Diplomate and unique experiences at places like the Mansion on Old Street. Each of these spots provide a unique dining experience enriched by the stories and the recommendations of our listeners. So whether you're a foodie, a history buff, or just looking for a great meal, DC diverse and vibrant food scene has got you covered. We have a listener named Matt from Virginia who wrote in about his experience at Ben's Chili Bowl. Matt said Ben's is more than just a place to eat. It's a piece of DC's soul. My dad took me there when I was a kid, and now I take my kids. The chili, half smoked, is legendary, and the atmosphere is so warm and welcoming. Every time I visit, it feels like coming home. Sarah from Boston shared her delightful evening at Les Diplomate. She said dining at Les Diplomate was like a little trip to Paris. The ambiance, the service, and oh, the food. I had the best steak frites of my life, and the creme brulee was simply divine. It was my anniversary dinner, and it couldn't have been more perfect. John from California wrote in about his memorable meal at the Old Ebbitt Grill. He said, I felt like I was dining with history at Old Ebbitt Grill. The oysters were incredibly fresh, and the atmosphere was both nostalgic and lively. I even spotted a few politicians having lunch. It's a must visit for anyone coming to DC. Maya from Atlanta sent us thoughts on Little Ethiopia. She said, eating at Ethiopia was an eye opening experience. The flavors were so rich and unique. Sharing Injera and Dora Wat was with friends was a wonderful communal experience. Little Ethiopia is a gem in DC's culinary scene. Emma from Florida shared her seafood feast at Hank's Oyster Bar. She said Hank's is a seafood lover's dream. The oysters were the freshest I've ever had, and the oyster roll was to die for. It's a relaxed, friendly place where you can enjoy great food and a laid-back vibe. Lisa from Colorado wrote in about her Sunday morning at the DuPont Circle Farmers Market. She said, the market was bustling with energy and full of incredible local products. I bought the most delicious homemade jam and fresh organic vegetables. It was a wonderful way to start my day in DC and connect with the local community. Rachel from Texas raved about her meal at Viola. The pasta was so fresh and flavorful. The atmosphere was perfect for a romantic evening out. Viola is hands down one of the best Italian restaurants I've ever been to. Tom from New York shared his experience at Rose's Luxury. Even though we had to wait, the food was absolutely worth it. The pork and lychee salad was unlike anything I've ever tasted, and the whole dining experience was just so fun and memorable. Sophie from California wrote about her brunch at Founding Farmers. The chicken and waffles were amazing, and I love the ingredients were sourced from local farms. It felt good to enjoy a meal that was both delicious and sustainably made. Alex from Chicago told us about his visit to Jaleo. The tapas was incredible, and the paella was just perfect. The restaurant had such a lively, festive atmosphere, and the food was authentic and delicious. Emma from Seattle shared her experience at Equinox. As a vegan, it can be hard to find really great dining options, but Equinox exceeded all my expectations. The sweet potato lasagna was fantastic, and the ambiance was so welcoming and inclusive. Mark from New Jersey wrote about the Salt Line. I'm a huge fan of seafood, and the Salt Line did not disappoint. The lobster rolls were packed with fresh lobster, and the clam chowder, was hearty and flavorful. The waterfront location made it even more special. Samantha from Portland shared her cozy dinner at the Red Hen. The atmosphere was inviting, and the wood-fired dishes were out of this world. The rigatoni with fennel sausage ragu was the best pasta dish I've ever had. And finally, Jenny from Los Angeles told us about her sweet stop at Baked and Wired. The cupcakes was absolutely divine, and the coffee was perfect. It was the best way to end a day of exploring Georgetown. Washington, D.C.'s culinary scene offers something for everyone, from iconic eateries like Bean's Chili Bowl to upscale dining at Le Diplomat and unique experiences at places like the Mansion on O Street. Each of these spots provides a unique dining experience, enriched by the stories and the recommendations of our listeners. So whether you're a foodie, a history buff, or just looking for a great meal, DC diverse, vibrant food scene has got you covered. All right, folks. As we start to wrap up this episode, I want to share some practical tips to help you make the most of your visit to Washington, D.C. Whether you're planning a weekend getaway or a longer stay, these tips will ensure you have a fantastic time. First and foremost, wear comfortable shoes. DC is a city best explored on foot, and you'll be doing a lot of walking as you hop from one landmark to another. Trust me, your feet will thank you. Speaking of exploring, take advantage of the city's excellent public transportation system. The metro is clean, efficient, and can get you to the most major attractions. Plus, it's a great way to avoid the hassle of finding parking. When planning your visit, try to get your tickets for tours and attractions in advance. Places like the U.S. Capitol, the National Archives, and the White House often require advance reservations, and it's a good idea to book early to secure your spot. If you're visiting during the spring, don't miss the National Cherry Blossoms Festival. This annual event celebrates the blooming of the cherry trees around the tidal basin and features parades, performances, and cultural activities. It's a magical time to be in DC, but it can also be crowded, so plan accordingly. For a unique perspective of the city, consider taking a nighttime tour. Many of DC's monuments and memorials are beautifully illuminated after dark, and a nighttime tour can offer a different and often more peaceful experience. Finally, don't be afraid to venture beyond the main tourist spots. Some of the best experiences can be found in DC's diverse neighborhoods, where you'll discover unique shops, restaurants, and local culture. Well, that's a wrap on our virtual tour of Washington, D.C. I hope you're feeling inspired and excited to explore this incredible city. From its iconic landmarks to its hidden gems, D.C. truly has something for everyone. If you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to give us a 5-star rating and share with your friends. And if you have any tips or experiences from your own trips to Washington, D.C., I love to hear about them. Drop a comment or send me a message on our many social media platforms. Thank you for tuning in to Energize Your Passion. Remember, every day is an opportunity for a new adventure. Stay passionate, stay curious, and keep exploring. Until next time, this is Sunshine signing off.